Hi. So basically today we'll be looking at two things in real estate, especially when you want to use the property for Airbnb. There's a lot of factors that you have to consider while you go into Airbnb model for income generating stream. You need to understand what location are you doing it in Nigeria? Are you doing it in the US? I'll be considering two model. I'll be considering where you're doing it in Nigeria or when you're doing it in the US. There are two different markets. The concept is two different. So I will explain that, and whether if you're doing Nigeria, is it better for you to buy? If you're doing in the US, is it better for you to buy or to rent? If you're doing in Nigeria, so these are the parameters we're going to look at. I've done some calculation over here. I'm going to take you through it fast to make you understand. It's always good to have real estate as a backup strategy for income generating, additional income generating, because it's good to have more positive cash flow, and you can use real estate to do that. So, but you have to be very careful. You need to understand the market. You need to understand the business. So, I'm taking you through some couple of strategy that will help you decide properly. Okay. So, looking at it, is it for you to buy? If you are, let's look at the Nigerian market. Is it for you to buy? If you want to buy an asset or rent, what you want to use for Airbnb, what is the best option? I wish I give you the best return. Okay. Look at this. Let's assume we want to use 3-bedroom apartments as a sample, okay, for the purpose of this trading and cost. If you look at it, let's say 3-bedroom flat is going for 80 million naira, okay, and you don't have the money, so you need to take the money from the bank and all of that. Let's assume you are taking it from a Nigerian bank. So possibly if you have a good deal, maybe you have somebody giving you for 50% interest rate, maybe repayment for 5 years, duration for 5 years, okay? Now, if you do the mathematics, it will give you this monthly repayment plan. If you do your amortization properly with reducing balance, you should get this value for 80 million naira for 5 years for 50%. So if there are some good banks, that can give you that. If you're able to get across to them, you get this 80 million naira and all of that. Now, let's now look at the income part of it, the income leg. If you're using for Airbnb, 3-bedroom flat, let's say you are making Tush, is located in around VI, phase 1, Ikoyi, and all of that. It's average of 80,000 monthly payment, daily payment, 80,000 naira daily payment to put someone in that apartment. So let's say you are looking at the occupancy rate to be 20 days in a month. We don't we don't drag it too long. Yeah, we have 30 days, but let's say our occupancy rate to be on the safe side. Let's say we are using 20 occupancy rate. That means you're going to get this value, 1.2 as income. Now, if you look at another factor, now, if you want to look at your profitability, you realize that you are getting a negative value. You realize you're actually getting a high negative value because you are paying a mortgage, you are paying a repayment of this value while you are making the income of this value. It tells that this is a red flag for you. Okay, let's go ahead. If you do the same thing, maybe you do the same thing probably in another location, maybe US, for instance. You buy the same house of 80 million naira, that's going to be $166,000. Okay. Now, in US, you get it at 5% interest rate, probably 4 to 5% interest rate for a very good bank, and you can get out to 20 years. Okay. If you get out to 20 years, your repayment plan is going to look like this: 500 naira every month. It's going to look like around this 500,000 naira. So it's like $1,000 in a month. That's a good deal, isn't it? Now, if you look at it now, your income on that property is going to give you like 600. If you multiply it, you are making 1 million profit margin. Okay, if I do it in the US, whereas if you convert that into dollars, you'll be making around $2,203 in a month. That's a cool business, isn't it? Okay, let's look at the other parameters. Now, if you decide to say, okay, I don't want to buy this asset, I can actually rent it. Okay, so you're going to rent a 3-bedroom flat in a very good area in Nigeria. Maybe we're talking of VI, we're talking of phase one and all of this, you look at 15 million naira, is it not? You look at 5 million naira. If you look at 5 million naira, let's assume that it's 5 million. Okay, I don't have this money. I also want to borrow it. Okay, because the business is a yearly business. I'll borrow it for 1 year. Is it not? I borrow for 1 year. Maybe somebody gives me at 20%. Sometimes you can get at 30%. Let's just say average. Let's say you get at 20%. Okay, and what your payment plan is going to look like? It's going to look like 463,000 naira. Okay, now, and you are making income of 1.6 million on the conservative. Okay, then probably what is going to happen is that you're going to have the profit of 1.123 monthly repayment plan. That's the income that you're going to make it. Then I assume that you want to use the entire money you used to buy house to do the same project. That means you'll be doing 16 units. If you are doing 16 units, your profit every month will be 18 million. That's what I mean technically. Okay? So what this tells you, I don't want to go into the details. What this tells you is, it tells you that it's better to rent when you are operating like a third world country like Nigeria. It's better to rent than to buy. Most people that buy property in Nigeria, they're not buying it because they want to use. It's not really a good income generating strategy, because the best way you can make more money is to use it for Airbnb or to rent it out to someone that will give you maybe 5 million naira or in a month. That's very low. So, but if you rent it out to someone that's going to give you use for Airbnb yourself, the best you can get is you eventually use the money to be paying back your renter to the bank. So it eventually means that you cannot use it as income generating stream. You cannot use it to get a positive cash flow, and that means it's a wrong strategy. So if you are going to do Airbnb in Nigeria, then you have to stick to renting, and that way you can scale. Now you are doing 18 units and all of that. Now imagine that you are doing it for 16 units. You are not doing it for let's say you're doing it for 5 years. My brother, that number is good. If I do it for 5 years, I don't want to go into the calculation, but you can get in contact with me on my website. I'm going to give you more details about this. If you do this with this 80 million naira, if you do it for 5 years, you're going to get this 1 billion naira in 5 years. That's what you're going to get. So if you want to know more of this, the breakdown and the strategy, you can get in touch with me. I'm going to give you more details about this. Okay? Then now, let's look at other strategy. 80 million for 1 year, you get this amount. Because that means you get 218. That's amazing. Over 200 million in 12 months. Okay? If you now do it for 5 years, you get 1 billion naira in 5 years. That is assuming that you're not spending all the money you are making from this business. That's assuming you're not touching all the money. But there's also one leg that I've not talked about. Imagine this money you are generating, you're also reinvesting it. That's another crazy way to generate income. Think about it. So the idea is basically to encourage a lot of people to create more income stream. And a lot of times you want to hear people talk about real estate. I can tell you a lot of information you hear about real estate in the US does not work in Nigeria. Get it clear. It's not applicable in Nigeria. Because in the US, you can get a mortgage for 20 years, you can get it at low as 4%, but you can't get that in Nigeria. So it's making your repayment to be very high, unreasonable for business. But if it's in the US, you could actually do that for 20 years. And in fact, I can tell you that it's not reasonable to use renter in the US for Airbnb, because you'll be paying almost the same thing you are paying to the bank. So why can't I take the money and do a mortgage where I'm making income and I can eventually own the house? That means I'm going to make money from the appreciation income. You're going to eventually own the asset. You're going to go, so you can enjoy the boat. So if you are in the US, it's a good strategy to think about buying an asset and have a long mortgage. But if you're in Nigeria, don't think about it. Don't think about it. In fact, to effectively run a mortgage, you must have other source of income to effectively run a mortgage in Nigeria. It's going to be tough to convert whatever you are using to use your rental income from your property to pay back the building mortgage. It's difficult in Nigeria because of the interest rate and because of the tenure that the bank can give you. There are exceptional cases, but this is the general cases that we know about. And I think it came for me, it's a conclusion that if you're going to go into Airbnb, you have no option. You have a better option to go into renting the property than for you to do a mortgage. Thank you.